Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this morning's debate on supporting and empowering educators. This morning we're going to be talking about educators, about teachers. We're going to be building on some of the discussion that happened yesterday and in the plenary session which you've just been attending. We've heard much during this conference about the centrality of teachers to high-quality education systems. And we're going to focus this morning on discussing how we can provide professional development for teachers such that they can best support learners in 21st century schools. How can we ensure that our teachers are best equipped, they have the behaviours, the attitudes, the values, the knowledge to work in a rapidly changing environment? Enhancing the quality and conditions of student learning is at the heart of teacher professionalism. For me, teaching has always been a very moral profession, where the purpose of teaching is a moral purpose. It's making a difference to our students. So if we draw on that, how can we offer opportunities for teachers to ensure that they can make the best possible difference to all the students that they encounter throughout their career? For many teachers across the world, professional development opportunities are very scarce. They have very few opportunities to engage in deepening their own learning. But we know that the best teachers are those that do develop throughout their careers. And we also know that effective professional development should be focused on the site of that teacher's practice, usually the school, looking at how they're engaging with pupils and students. It should be collaborative, involving peer support, observation, reflection, and coaching. It should involve engagement with experts, possibly from outside the school. It should allow teachers to choose their own focus for their professional development. And above all, it should be sustained. So I'm going to look forward this morning to hearing about the experiences of our panellists from very many different environments across the world. So I'd like to invite them now to join me on the stage. We're going to be talking this morning about teachers and how we can support them in professional development. But I thought a useful start to our discussion would be to share our understanding of who is a successful teacher in the 21st century. How do we recognise, how do we describe a good teacher? Nathan, can I ask you to share your thoughts?
Yes. The most important thing, I believe, for a successful teacher, and this is the one thing I want everybody to take away from my section of the debate, is that we need people in teaching who believe they can make a difference in the life of their students, full stop. One of the most important questions I believe that teachers need to consider is who they actually need to be in order to be successful in teaching. The reason why is simply that the world is changing so quickly that many teachers need the ability to be able to adapt and be resilient, but at the same time be able to move and implement all those amazing changes in the world. To that end, I believe that the 4 successful characteristics of the teachers can be under what I call the 4 types of E teachers. Now, those are the teachers that will successfully drive teaching and learning well into the 21st century. So here are the 4 types. Number 1, the energy teacher. The energy teacher firmly believes that the teacher is the most successful or the most critical influence in a student's development and achievement. They believe firmly that schools create the future, and they are also teachers with a hot personality. A hot personality means that they are willing to implement, try out, and develop all the latest techniques and development in the world of education and try them with their students. The second type of E-teacher is what I call the ethics teacher. Now, the ethics teacher, what makes them successful is that they will go to great lengths to work out and to work alongside the students and their families to work out which way their culture, their belief systems in order to get better learning outcomes, and also, of course, teaching. They are also more interested in the students' emotional intelligence as well as their, of course, intelligence as well. The third type of successful teacher in the 21st century is what I call the enterprise teacher. Now, the enterprise teacher will go to great lengths to change the status quo of their schools. They will develop software, they will implement new learning methods. Unfortunately, the enterprise teacher, as I coined them, we don't see too much, they don't tend to stay around too long in teaching. Simply put, because they can get better compensation for work they do outside the teaching system. And the fourth type of e-teacher that I believe will greatly enhance teaching successfully into the 21st century is what I call the environmentalist teacher. Now, the environmentalist teacher is absolutely dedicated to the betterment of the student. They look at things, what I refer to as a ripple effect. And in terms of a ripple effect is what the teacher teaches a student, will it still be useful in 30 years' time? Will the benefits, the lessons that the teacher gives the student, will it be able to ripple through the community in a very positive way? So those are the four types, but the most important thing to come from my section of the debate is that we need teachers who firmly believe they can make a difference in the lives of their students.
Thank you. And Florence, perhaps you'd like to share with us some thoughts about the teachers that you have in your foundation in the Cameroon. I get you've been very successful at educating girls, particularly in science and technology. I know you too have talked to us about how the successful teachers are those that perhaps move on. So what do you look for when you're recruiting teachers to your foundation?
I believe that the essential impact in teaching is educating a country, and in a country you have girls. That's why we focus on girls age 11 to 19, from 1 to 4, GCE A level, all the secondary education. And for us to have those girls reach what we expect from them, we need essential teachers who really understand the philosophy that we have bring in Cameroon. We come from a country where historically people think that their culture is second-rate. We come in a country where people, especially the teachers who were the light, are now scoffed at. So when I have to select teachers, I see in them something, a desire to really change things and move forward. I see in them motivation. Then I talk to them and I want to break everything that really prevent people to advance. Self-empowerment. I ask them to be confident. You just don't say be confident. I give them some tasks where they have to meet different persons, not only their colleagues, but also the world around them, so that they gain this aptitude to talk to different type of person, to expose themselves. But above everything, I want them to really be very bright, understand their curricula, because they are going to add to their curricula, which are the official one set by the government, the one we have designed in our textbook at the Rubizat Foundation. And I want to cut with the system of just memorizing concepts people don't understand. They go to exam to have A++ without understanding what they are teaching, what they are learning. I want them to understand that science and technology is essential for the development of Africa. I want them to understand that in order for them to achieve understanding of what they are learning, they have to do practical. We have chosen microscience, which is already accepted by UNESCO. And when they use microscience, they see the process of the concept they are turning. The third step is for them to go into firms and see that the abstract concept they learn are being transformed into technological processes. So we visit firm and they see Then I invite guest speakers, women who have succeeded in life in a very unpromising environment, to talk about their experience. So all this make the teacher believe that they belong to a family. I expect from them to be faithful to the foundation. We have become so successful that they are given very high position in government, in Department of Education, even in the private sector. So we have to renew our staff. And in the new staff, the older ones come by themselves to visit them and reinforce what they are doing. So the selection is very sharp, and we stress a lot on ethics and morals. We want them to run away from the ease of just routine, to be open, to know that a problem does not only have one solution, but multiple solutions. That's the traditional African way of seeing things. It's not only one solution, but multiple. And I want them not to think that another culture is better than the other, but to use lessons learned from the global world. In so doing, they can be, and they are very successful.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was very inspirational, actually. I'm tempted to want to come and actually teach in your foundation myself. Perhaps moving on to Larry, who you engage with education projects all across the world. So perhaps you could share with us what you're looking for when you're funding projects. What excites you about teaching that you see in some of these projects?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. If you go back to the very beginning of ExxonMobil Corporation over 125 years ago, you'll find that technology and innovation was at the very core of the foundation of the founding of our company. The reason for that is that we're a very technology-driven company because we're in a technology-driven business. The thing that concerns us today on a day-to-day basis, not only in the United States, but around the world where we do business, is just as you were saying, not just in Africa, but the concern about to be able to address the challenges that we're going to be facing, not just energy, but just all of mankind. It's going to require new technological innovations. To do that, we have to go out and find a whole new generation of scientists and engineers who are going to be able to be trained and ready to take on those challenges. And frankly, we're concerned that around the world that we're not focusing enough on science and technology, the science and math, and also writing skills. So when we're looking to try to support different kinds of programs, we're looking to try to develop teachers that are really good science and math teachers. If they're going to be motivated, and we want to find a teacher that can get the best out of the student, to make the student be able to recognize even more than they think that they can. But to be able to do that, they have to be motivated themselves. And so we work on programs to try to motivate teachers to rejuvenate their energy. And to go back to the classroom after going to professional development so that they can stay energized and try to continue to develop the young people that are going to help lead the solutions of tomorrow.
Great. Thank you. So I think very much some common themes emerging there around teachers being confident, teachers, I think, as Florence has said very clearly, who can see that there are multiple solutions. There isn't just one way of doing things. Teachers who are open to new ideas. And Alexia, I know you've described teachers as masters of learning for students. Perhaps you could explain a little bit about what you mean by this and how perhaps it resonates with what our colleagues have also been saying.
Yeah. It was said that teacher is a master of learning. What really we mean by this? We would like our students to learn all their life, not to finish with the school or university profession, but to prepare citizens who are all life learners. Okay, that's good. It's a good slogan, but how do we teach them? It's a very natural way of teaching a child is just to show her or him how I do this. At the same time, the tradition of teaching profession is the teacher is somebody who knows everything, who has ready-made knowledge, who can deliver or transfer existing knowledge to students. So there is no place in traditional school where a teacher can show how she or he learns something. So I would just like to emphasize the importance of this shift in teacher's position. From the position of a human who knows everything, who has all the recipes, how to do, behave, all the knowledge, to a position by the same type as a student, the position of a learner. And so we mean that the teacher development and teacher empowering is not giving him or her something ready, but preparing to learn and to show this process of learning to students. It's very visible with new technologies. Many times I've heard from different people that students sometimes are much easier and flexible with new technologies than their teachers. And people usually are saying, this is bad. Parents or authorities saying, we have so weak teachers, they don't master technology. Their students are better with all these gadgets. But this is just a chance, and we use really this chance in my environment, for teachers to show, yes, I know this not so well as you do, but show me this. And next lesson, I will show that I can do this. And this is very inspirational for teachers. If you explain to them, it's not a person who knows everything. You are a learner. But more than this, you are a master of learning. You should show to your students how to learn.
Thank you. So I think that we've been painting a very rich picture of the successful teacher, the teacher who's going to move our students forward with 21st century skills.